I'm like, Lord, you want me to do what? You know, I'm like, and I was still working in a profession and the whole bit, and I didn't understand it all. But we started on that journey 3.5 years ago because God told me to come here. And so during those 3.5 years, of course, the pandemic hit. I thought I was going to come 2 or 3 years from now. And the pandemic hit, and God said, go now. Now, he said, go now. We've been here since off and on. We went back, came in February, went back to the United States, came back. But we've been here off and on since February. There's been no basketball. And there's a lot of days I wake up and I'm like, God, why? Why am I here? And I believe he's just preparing the way. He's like in farming. You have to have the fertilizer and the soil. He's just preparing the harvest for the future of when this pandemic is over. And so that's really why I'm here. I believe that whatever the mind can conceive and you dare to believe, with God's help, you can achieve.
And with Kuya David and Ate Maymay will do the sport in the Kabalong with where sports municipality.
Hey, I want to thank Julius, Kevin, Mico for allowing me to be here. The only reason I'm here actually is because of my wife. Mylene Jacobo grew up in Dujali. She grew up right here and lived most of her life. And the second reason I'm here is because of Mico. Mico Dujali, right? I met him 2 years ago in Davao, and we just hit it off. He's a great young man. And then we reconnected here in Dujali, and he asked me to be here today. So just to explain to you why, what's that?
I'm a nanny of Mico.
Yeah, and she was a nanny of Mico when he was younger. So it's all intertwined. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about me and about why I'm here. Why is this American Italiano here in Dujali? You know, we went over to get registered, and the tricycle drives up, and these two ladies get out, and they're like, Americano! You know, it's like, so why is it Americano here in Dujali? You wonder. So before I get started, I want you to stand up real quick. Just everybody stand up. Okay, just, you know, I'm a coach. You got to stretch out, get ready. You know, just stretch out of here. Turn to the person on your right. Give them a fist pump. Person on your right. Then turn to your left. Give a fist pump. Stretch a little bit more and sit down. Okay, here we go. Go ahead, sit down. Yes, quickly. Let's all do that together. Go ahead, sit down. Okay, good. Very good. So you can call me, my name is David Corsi, or you can call me Coach Corsi. Whatever you want. I'll tell you a little bit about me real quick. I grew up from age 10 to now playing basketball. I played in high school, I played in college, I played professionally overseas in Mexico and Nicaragua and Belize, all over the world. And then I've been coaching now for about 25 years. So professionally, what I did for a job, a trabajo, was I worked for Nike, Converse, and New Balance, as well as other brands in upper management for a really long time. But my passion was always basketball. So 20 years ago, I started a basketball club in California, where I grew up, in San Diego. Anybody heard of San Diego? Hopefully one or two. Nobody? One. Okay, one. Thank you. San Diego, and started a basketball. But the reason I started it is because my coach, who had impacted my life, he's like a second father to me, had died of lymphoma cancer. And it so touched me that I created this club in his memory. And the whole club was created just to impact one life. Just one life like he'd impacted mine. And that's why I started it 20 years ago. Today, we have over 40 teams. Let me stop real quick though, I gotta get this. I brought this for one person today. So after I'm done, I'm gonna ask one question. So you really gotta listen about what I talked about. One question from what I talked about. So you gotta really listen well and raise your hand. Don't yell it out at the end. Raise your hand if you get it correct. This basketball is yours. You see it's deflated, right? Do you know why it's deflated? Because you can't play basketball right now. It's a pandemic. They won't let you play for 22 months. Oh my goodness, that's a long time. So it's deflated. So you got to keep it deflated until they lift the restriction, and then you can pump it up and go to the gym and start playing. Okay? All right, so I'm going to give this to one person at the end. So when I started the club, I never anticipated that it would be as big as it is today. Today it's still running. You can look it up online. It's called CaliforniaBearcats.com. California Bearcats, like this here, Bearcats.com. Still running today. We've impacted thousands of lives, and we have over 40 teams there. So why am I here? Because that's going great there. So 3.5 years ago, I had the most vivid dream that I've ever had in my life, and basically God told me, I want you to do the same thing you did in California and the Philippines. And so, I mean, it was the most vivid dream I ever had. And when God calls you, when God says, okay, I want you to go do this, I don't think you don't mess with that. You don't. And I'm like, what? I'm like, Lord, you want me to do what? You know, I'm like, and I was still working in a profession and the whole bit, and I didn't understand it all. But we started on that journey 3.5 years ago because God told me to come here. And so during those 3.5 years, of course, the pandemic hit. I thought I was going to come 2 or 3 years from now. And the pandemic hit, and God said, go now. Now, he said, go now. We've been here since off and on. We went back, came in February, went back to the United States, came back. But we've been here off and on since February. There's been no basketball. And there's a lot of days I wake up and I'm like, God, why? Why am I here? And I believe he's just preparing the way. He's like in farming. You have to have the fertilizer and the soil. He's just preparing the harvest for the future of when this pandemic is over. And so that's really why I'm here. I believe that whatever the mind can conceive and you dare to believe, with God's help, you can achieve. I'm an extremely positive, passionate person. And I believe and I believe in the youth of this world, because you guys are the future leaders of Dujali, the future leaders of Davao del Norte, and the future leaders of the Philippines. And what we've been able to do with our system of basketball is, to me, basketball is a tremendous sport. This country has an obsession with basketball more than any country in the world. But it's just a sport. It's what you learn way beyond the sport about life, about integrity and character and honesty and working hard and doing your best and having fun. It's what you learn through basketball about that's more important than the game. To me, the game is just a vehicle. Maybe I would have been a soccer player. I would have been talking to you about soccer right now. But no, I'm a basketball player. And so it's through our system. It's a very tried and proven system that we have set up over all these years. Through that, we train young people up, not only through fundamentally in basketball, but also to teach them the values and the principles of how to be a better young man, a young woman, to husband, a wife, a leader in the community. And that's what we strive to. I have so many young people now that played for me that are now in business, and they're getting promoted, and they're doing all this stuff, and I'll reach out to them when I see it on a post, and I say, hey, congratulations, great job. And I can't tell you how many of those kids that come back say, Coach, it's a lot of the stuff I learned in your program that I'm using today in business. And so that's what we're all about. And you know what? I am here humbly and with much gratitude and stuff, just to offer my services, offer all the things that I've learned, and hopefully we can put together some clinics and some basketball teams and some tournaments when all this is over, and play right there in that beautiful gym that's sitting, that hasn't been played in 22 months, that we can play there someday and really grow up. You know, another thing too is a lot of our players now, we've had many players our ages there from 8 to 19. We've had many players that now are getting Division I, Division II, Division III, NC2A scholarships, who came up through our program. So it's also here. We want, our mantra is this: have fun, work hard, do your best, and get ready for life. Get ready for life. Get ready for college. Get ready for the next step, is to teach you that, and enable, in the second half, is to enable young men and women to reach their full potential in life. you guys can impact the Philippines right here, this group, through so many ways. And I believe sports is the greatest vehicle to really learn life principles. And so that's why we're here, and I'm really excited. I'm very, as you can see, I'm very passionate about what I do, and I'm very passionate about basketball. And I hope that when this clears up, that a lot of you will come join us and do a clinic with us, maybe get on a team with us. And our whole mantra is to provide as many resources as we can through uniforms and shoes and basketballs and others to help you guys really have a first class. My goal is for Dujali, when we have teams and we go to other barangays or other areas, is to say that Dujali, man, they're a class act. The way they show up, the way they leave, and the way they dress, man, that club, that organization, Dujali, has got it going on. And that's our goal. So anyways, thanks for letting me be here today to share this with you. Thank you, Mico, for inviting us. So I'm going to ask you one question, and you got to raise your hand, and don't blurt it out. And if I call on you and if it's right, I'm going to give that person his basketball. Okay, so I talked about in California. Oh, let me tell you this lesson. California Philippines Bearcats is the name it's going to be here. So there's connection, because eventually the California Bearcats are going to come over here and play the California Philippines Bearcats. I have many coaches now that say, when you're set up, Dave, that coach for me in California, I want to fly to the Philippines and I want to do clinics here and coach here. So I have many people and teams that want to come over. So that's why it's the California Philippines Bearcats, because I want you guys to have the connection to these kids in California as well, so we can be together. So how many teams does the California Bearcats have now in California? How many teams?
30.
Woo! What's your name?
Sarah May.
I'm sorry?
Sarah May.
Sarah May, the basketball is yours. Congratulations. Okay, thanks you guys very much. Thank you. Thank you, Mico, very much.
Hey guys, Coach Corsi here. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like, and thanks for being a part of this vision for the future to impact our youth and the next generation. God bless you, and go Bearcats.